Eliza, your teacher asked me to discuss your Filipino grade. You didn't pass this quarter because you didn't seem to understand el filibusterismo, which could be a factor where you cannot go to senior high school. So, can you tell me what's wrong?
I don't see why you have to study it. It's too complex, too depressing. Like, especially how things ended for Ibarra and Maria Clara, it just feels pointless.
El filibusterismo isn't just a story. Rizal wrote it to express the oppression and corruption Filipinos faced under the Spanish rule and to inspire people to demand justice.
Yes, it's a critique of Spanish rule, calling for reform. Filipinos then were fighting for freedom, and Rizal highlighted the need for a fair society.
So, it's about history?
Exactly. Rizal risked his life to expose the abuses of Spanish officials. The characters and events reflect real struggles under Spanish rule, making it a powerful symbol for Filipinos.
Right, published in 1891. El filibusterismo intensified frustration and pride among Filipinos, setting the stage for Philippine Revolution.
But why does it have to be so sad? Couldn't things improve for Ibarra?
Rizal wanted to show how oppression affects people. Ibarra returns as Simone, changed by injustices and loss. This reflects how people can be driven to drastic actions by suffering.
So, people connected to it back then, right?
Yes, it encouraged Filipinos to see the need for change, inspiring the fight for independence.
I get it, but it's just not for me. I just don't feel the connection.
That's fair, but try considering El filibusterismo as a voice from the past, part of our heritage. It might speak to you again if you listen.
I'll think about it. Thank you, miss. Thank you, teach. Do I still have the chance to pass if I do well this semester for the LP?
Yes, I'm sure you can, Eliza. Just do your best.
Okay, but just so you know, I'm still not convinced about all this.
Eliza, wait. Just try to see it.
Wait, how are we here? How are you here? And me? Are we part of the story?
Let's say I'm your guide. Welcome to El filibusterismo.
Wow. So this is what it feels like in El Fili.
Yes, experiencing what Rizal wanted, the struggles of Filipinos under the Spanish rule.
So Rizal wanted people to feel this suffering.
Exactly. He showed the harshness of colonial life to inspire change.
And Simon, why did he change so much?
Losing everything hardened him. Rizal used Simone to show how oppression breeds anger.
So it wasn't just a story, was it?
No, it was their history, and now you're ready to see it.
Wow, we're in El Fili. Do you believe it? Is this real? Simon? Simon, is that you?
What brings you to the ship of dreams and despair?
Remember, Eliza, Simone's character embodies the anger and frustration of the oppressed people.
You! What are you doing here? Low-class people like you belong to a lower deck. This deck is not for you. I'm sure, sir.
Usually dismiss Kermas the nation's great. They are the soul of the Philippines.
Hindi makakapit. Hindi mo wala ito.
They say we're nothing, yet we do all the work.
We toil while they enjoy their privilege.
We should claim our dignity. That's right.
Look at them, thinking they have a voice. They just serve as Spaniards.
How? They should know their place. Any head of rebellion will swiftly crush.
You are not servants. You are the backbone of this nation. Your sufferings will lead to change.
Only more would stand with us. We have the right to our future.
Remember those who came before us. Their sacrifices fueled our struggle.
Keep an eye on them. We can't afford the rebellion.
Si, senyor.
I can see the separation. The rich enjoy the power, while the poor are left to suffer. This is what Rizal was trying to exploit, right? The exploitation, the corruption, it's really heartbreaking.
Exactly, Eliza. Rizal critiques the stark social inequality. The clergy and officials enjoy privileges while ordinary citizens struggle for dignity.
And Simon, is he fighting against the system?
He embodies the quest for justice, using anger as the catalyst for change. But this isn't just his fight, it's a collective struggle.
Filipinos must awaken to their identity. We cannot be content with colonial traits. Our culture is rich and vibrant, and yet we allow clergy to dictate our lives.
I see it now. Rizal's message is more than just words. It's a call for all of us to fight for our rights and for our identity. We need to rise against the oppression.
It starts with understanding our past. Every story has a lesson. Results is a blueprint for change.
What are they talking about?
Simon wants Basilio to join his revolution. His anger and the injustices he's seen fuel his cause.
Peaceful reforms has failed. The friars exploit the poor, and those in power control the courts.
Crispin, they took you because they see you as nothing.
I saw how they treated my mother. The courts always protect Spaniards.
They even took Maria Clara from me. Our people deserves justice.
Chrysostom, fight for our people. Don't let my suffering be in vain.
This fight isn't just for revenge. This is about our liberation. Every sacrifice will spark our people's awakening.
But violence could bring more suffering. And there are students who are fighting for education. But the authorities, they keep them down, right?
True freedom needs virtue, not only force. Rizal knew the government feared educated Filipinos. He wanted us to see that knowledge could break change, and he wanted us to find a path beyond revenge.
Will you join me to end this oppression?
I remember the sacrifices of Fili and the sacrifices of others. I remember her telling me to avenge them. I want to help, but I fear what we might become.
We will no longer be silent.
I can't stand by and watch Simon take this violent action, especially when it is a flame that takes the life of the innocent. If we are to change our fate, it must be through wisdom, not fire.
Sagani, what do you mean?
If we are to take a stand, we must do it with conviction. Simon! Stop!
Isagani, what have you done?
Rizal shows us that true change requires not just action, but the right kind of action, rooted in understanding and compassion.
Simon, once filled with ambition and rage, now stands at the precipice of his despair. His journey reflects the struggles of an entire nation.
I have sought revenge for my losses, but what has it brought me? More death and destruction.
Simon, true freedom cannot be achieved through violence. The blood of the innocent cannot pave the way for a better future. We must strive for education, enlightenment, and long suffering.
I have failed my people.
Rizal's portrayal of Simon in El Filibusterismo emphasizes the importance of a long-term vision. True societal change is achieved not through vengeance, but through enlightenment and resilience.
So this is what happened in El Filibusterismo. Such a powerful story about injustice and sacrifice.
It's time to go back home, Eliza. I hope you learned something from this adventure. Alright class, let's start with El Filibusterismo. So what are its central themes? Yes, Eliza?
El Filibusterismo highlights the bitterness of vengeance, showing how it consumes Simon's life. His character serves as an awakening call for Filipinos, urging them to recognize the dangers of violent retaliation. And ultimately, it shows the effectiveness of vengeance, that hatred leads to nowhere.
Wow, Eliza, that's impressive. Do you know more about El Fili?
Oh, I know a lot more. You see, I witnessed it firsthand.
Basilio!
Is this who I think it is? A man who have been known to be dead for many years?
I have seen how this world rots from within. How the powerful prey upon the powerless. It's time to uproot this diseased society. Join me. and we will end this corruption.
Simon, no act of revenge can right the past. My mother's suffering, my brother's death.
With my wealth, I have corrupted the very people who corrupted us. They will destroy each other from within.
Rizal used the character of Simon to demonstrate the dangers of seeking revenge. Simon's obsession with revenge against the Spanish colonial government consumed his life and led him down a path of destruction, the bitterness of vengeance. It's empty and consuming.
You don't yet understand the power of revenge. It's the only path to make them feel our pain. It's the only way I can find peace.
Revenge has blinded you, Simon. It cost you 13 years, and where has it led you? In the end, your life has become their victory, and all you have is bitterness, and still, the past remains.
Simon ultimately realized that he had wasted 13 years of his life on a fruitless quest without any greater purpose or goal in mind. Awakening call for Filipinos.
What is a man to do when he is denied justice? Should he simply wait, hoping for Spain to bestow upon him the rights of his own? Is he saying we should rebel? Rights are not granted as favors. They are taken.
Simon's purpose was to awaken Filipinos to the harsh reality of their lives under the Spanish rule. He embodies the anger and frustration of the Filipino people, believing that only through violence and rebellion can they achieve freedom. But as his journey unfolds, Simon realizes that his path ultimately leads to emptiness and his own tragic downfall. Rizal's true message emerges here. Lasting change comes not through revenge, but through peaceful, constructive means by cultivating education, enlightenment, and unity among Filipinos. Ineffectiveness of violent retaliation.
I thought I could bring them freedom by giving them a taste of their own cruelty. All I have done is lead myself to ruin.
Simon, you cannot win true freedom by spilling innocent blood. Revenge only begets suffering. It blinds you to what truly matters.
Should I have simply accepted the cruelty?
No. You have to remember that change must come from within.
But I want vengeance. But it has left me with nothing.
Revenge and violence would only lead to more suffering, while forgiveness and peaceful means represented the sole path to genuine societal transformation. Rizal's portrayal of Simon shows how revenge only leads to futility and despair. Real change needs a long-term vision, a purpose that goes beyond just settling personal scores. In El Filibusterismo, Jose Rizal's characters are more than just people. They're the symbols of the struggles and desires of an oppressed nation. Let's meet the key figures. First, we have Simon, once Crisostomo Ibarra. He's a wealthy jeweler, code, secretive, and hungry for revenge. But his tragic fate is Rizal's warning. Revolution through violence only leads to ruin. Basilio, son of Sisa, is a diligent medical student focused on a brighter future through education, but he is blind to the struggles of others, representing the youth seeking advancement without social awareness. Then there's Isagani, idealistic and passionate. He's Basilio's friend, willing to sacrifice even love for his principles. He symbolizes the youth's unwavering hope for their country's freedom. Father Florentino, a retired priest, holds a wise perspective on rebellion. Choosing peace over violence, he embodies Rizal's hope for a revolution founded on patience and faith.
Jose Rizal created El Filibusterismo with the intent of highlighting the social, political, and cultural issues that the Philippines was facing in the 19th century. El Filibusterismo, his second novel, was not just a continuation of the story he started with Noli Me Tangere. It was a powerful statement against oppression, a rallying cry for justice, and a tragic exploration of the Filipino struggle under Spanish colonial rule. Inspired by the tragic martyrdom of Gomborza, Rizal used his pen as a weapon against colonial oppression.
I know all about this because I wrote a book report about it. El Filibusterismo is a darker sequel to Noli Me Tangere, exploring themes of revenge and the lengths people go for freedom. Idealistic Crisostomo Ibarra becomes the vengeful Simon, a wealthy jeweler using his influence to incite the Filipino people against colonial rulers.
Simon manipulates the Spanish elite, subtly planting seeds of rebellion, driven not only by politics but by the pain of losing his love, Maria Clara, to injustice. While he seeks to overthrow the colonial system at any cost, his journey raises questions about the moral cost of violence and whether it truly leads to liberation.
The plot is tragic and morally complex. As Simon shifts to idealism, vengeance is haunting, especially when he meets those who still embody hope. It prompts the question, is violence ever justified? Can freedom be achieved through destruction, or does it only lead to more suffering?
El Filibusterismo by Jose Rizal critiques colonial rule and elite corruption, questioning if violence leads to change or deeper suffering. Ibarra's transformation into Simon urges reflection on the cost of revolution and the Filipino fight for independence. 13 years after Noli Me Tangere, Simon returns to the Philippines wealthy and powerful, recruiting allies like Farmer Tales, who turns to banditry over unjust taxes, and medical student Basilio, who still hopes for a peaceful future. The novel underscores the struggles of those seeking a better life amid oppression.
Basilio's friends, the students, aim to establish a Spanish language school to advocate for their rights. However, when the friars take over the proposal, it leads to anger and frustration. Through moments like unfair court decisions, stolen dreams, and betrayed love, Rizal illustrates how colonialism stifles Filipino progress. Simon channels the frustrations, betrayals, and corruption to fuel his revolution, planning to bomb the wedding of Paulita and Juanito to eliminate the Spanish elite. However, Basilio warns Isagani, who intervenes and foils the plot. This moment symbolizes a rejection of Simon's ruthless methods, but leaves the question of freedom unresolved. With his plans thwarted, Simon goes on the run, his dreams shattered.
In Simon's final moments, Padre Florentino tells him that true freedom is rooted in compassion, not revenge. Rizal believed that independence should be based on virtue and unity to heal the wounds of colonialism. Rizal understood that Filipino society couldn't heal from colonial wounds through revenge alone. It required a foundation of righteousness and moral strength. He emphasized that the fight for independence should be rooted in our best qualities, not the worst. El Filibusterismo is not just about rebellion, but about what it means to build a nation despite the long and painful journey.
El Filibusterismo is timeless and resonates across generations, leaving a wide-ranging and complex legacy. Let's explore these lasting influences by sharing your insights on El Filibusterismo.
El Filibusterismo by Rizal sparked a call for action among Filipinos.
His portrayal of social change and the importance of knowledge and enlightenment for liberation have influenced nationalist groups empowering young Filipinos today.
Aside from that, El Filibusterismo also serves as a mirror of the past, an enduring reminder of the Filipino identity in the long-standing fight for justice. Together with Noli Me Tangere, it preserves history and identity for Filipinos, demonstrating the enduring power of literature in advancing social justice and promoting unity against oppression.
El Filibusterismo, a novel that sparked a nationwide movement for reform and peaceful change, significantly contributed to the propaganda movement, igniting a desire for sovereignty and laying the groundwork for more radical actions in the fight for freedom and equality.
El Filibusterismo has significantly influenced Philippine literature and education, making it a core part of the curriculum. Students analyze its themes and characters to understand colonial society and its modern implications, fostering critical thinking and understanding of freedom and national identity.
Rizal's work is vital to the development of Filipino cultural identity. Through its narratives and complex characters, the novel challenges stereotypes, celebrates Filipino heritage, and ignites pride in national identity. Rizal's portrayal of Filipino courage and resilience has shaped the way Filipinos see themselves, cultivating an ongoing dialogue about the nation's identity and aspirations.
Finally, El Filibusterismo offers a reflection on contemporary issues. Its themes of social justice, governance, and national sovereignty remain relevant, encouraging readers today to critically assess and challenge existing power structures. Rizal's critique of colonial rule parallels modern societal concerns, urging us to align historical lessons with today's challenges for a just and sovereign society.
El Filibusterismo is more than a story. It's Rizal's lasting gift to the Filipino people, a guide for building a better society, addressing governance, social justice, and national sovereignty. It critiques oppressive systems and calls for reform. The novel urges us to reflect on past injustices, current policies, and our role in shaping a brighter future for the Philippines.